James is having Powerball ramen again. I did a better job with this one. The Quiet Girl, Love, Romance, and Chocolate, Camille Claudel, 1915. James is going to talk about Cosmos a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what, because he's looked at quite a lot of it now. So, I mean,
yeah.
I
could talk a lot on it because my annoyance is increasing.
Oh, really?
With each view.
Oh, okay.
My view was negative from the start. I know about where Neil DeGrasse comes from.
I think.
And
okay, so you're done this first page here. You're probably here. You know where you are. I don't know where you are here. So I'm going to read a poem verse that I wrote this morning. So this is August 9th, 2024, and I was looking at the explanation for what a Nibelungen strophe is supposed to be, and I can't see why, like it's supposed to be 3 strong accents for 7 lines and then 4 for the 8th line, and I can't see why you couldn't mix that up in all sorts of wonderful patterns if you wanted to. So I've made one pattern here, and hopefully it qualifies. Let's see. Hello, little chickadee.
Hey there,
He's
buddy.
back visiting. He was visiting up in the apple tree this morning.
Oh.
And he was singing, trying to get my attention, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go get some food. So I put some food in, now he's back visiting really close. They're so sweet. So anyway, this poem is called Urban Hikes, and here goes. We loved our urban hikes. We'd leave the house by 7 and drive to reach a place, a peaceful place in nature. We rarely see the likes of humans there. I should have put we rarely saw. We rarely saw the likes of humans there. It's heaven. Each human leaves no trace, and so we feel free, and free feels great. Our urban hikes have been too urban for us lately. We're breathing in exhaust where car sounds drown out talking. Since homes where walks begin, their qualities dropped greatly. The good outweighs the cost of driving out to take a walk. We walk to find a car in car lots that we visit. Each walk solidifies the benefits of driving. We've walked so very far that driving seems exquisite. We walk and realize that driving helps us stay alive. So I hope that qualifies this one. And you can see I need to do some work on it. Like I didn't have my the was and is and everything. It's not clear. It's not straight. So it has to. I have to make it more fluid. It has to flow better, and that'll come. So it's just I'm quite tired today. Lately I've been eating oatmeal in the morning, and it just puts me right back to sleep. So that's a wonderful way to start the day. I wake up, have some oatmeal, and I go back to sleep.
Oatmeal is a soporific. It's apparently been proved by science. And it is weird that people would eat that in the morning. And not advised for you if you've got an office job, because
if I
don't know how office workers
right away,
do it.
Probably be fine.
I think it's coffee, massive amounts of coffee.
Anyway, The Quiet Girl. I put this top of the stack. I've already reviewed it, but I just wanted to point out that it's a different stack, and so this one ended up on the top. That's all. So it's I think that the one person who watched, like if somebody, last time when I reviewed The Quiet Girl, I pointed out that my stack was just so it wasn't designed for one person. I mean, there'd be very different people who'd be interested in watching the various movies from the stack. So how can I really rate them against each other? It's for one person, one would certainly be better than another, and whatever, right? So I just try to be objective about how I rate movies and go, well, this isn't exactly for me, but I can see how in this genre this one works or whatever. But anyway, in this stack, I could see the same person watching all of these things. Although I think this one's a bit young for, younger than the other two, but maybe, I don't know. So anyway, but yeah, the Quiet Girl, it's a lovely ending, and it just, anyway. But love, romance, and chocolate. Well, it's a sad ending too. You'll see. You like it. Love, romance, and chocolate. So this is a Hallmark thing. And one thing to be said about Hallmark movies is they're organized in the way movies should be. There's our sweet little chickadee singing.
There's another one moved into.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It's nice to have more friends. So, anyway, the Hallmark movies, they're usually exactly the right length of time. They're all programmed out to be like movies should be.
You don't have to worry about them being offensive.
Exactly. They're probably going to...
Too gory.
Anything like that, right? So, this one actually, I enjoyed watching it pretty good. There's chocolate. Most young women will love chocolate. And this is going to be for young women to watch for the most part. Or maybe women who are about 30 or, yeah, probably not really young, but maybe about 30, Maybe they haven't found the right person yet, but they really believe in that they will. They're in love with romance, and they'll love this too. So, it's a bit of a fairy tale. And isn't that nice? So, I don't know what to really say about it. It's kind of heartwarming. When they kiss, I smiled. And I felt myself smiling, and when I do that, I'm watching these silly Hallmark things, and I feel silly about it. I feel embarrassed. I'm like, oh, they actually got me to smile, or whatever.
Well, are they real kisses, or some of the Hollywood ones? I swear they need orthodontists afterwards because they smash teeth. There's, those big passionate kisses. So we rush at each other. It's like headbutting, Okay.
Now, how did this one get bottom of the stack? It got under Hallmark movie. Well, Juliette Binoche did a great job. She always does. But honestly, it's about Camille Claudel, 1915. So it's
Was she a well-known character or something like that?
Well, I guess she was an artist. So.
Okay. But not
I
related to the poet Claudel, Paul Claudel.
Was a famous sculptor when her behavior prompted her family to confine her to a mental institution.
Oh.
So.
Now, was that because she was a sculptor, or did she have some problems?
Well, she believed people were trying to poison her. And stuff.
Okay, she's got some problems.
She did have some problems. But maybe they were. I don't know. Probably not. So, anyway, she was very bored there. She did not like being there. And when you watch the movie, I think, honestly, the makers of the movie were trying to make you feel as bored as she felt.
Well, that's different.
No, why?
Were they arguing that she shouldn't have been institutionalized?
I don't know. I don't. Maybe you could get that from that, but.
Yeah, the days of that sort of nonsense is long past. When someone thinks people are out to poison them, unless people are really out to poison them, they're dangerous. Men are probably more dangerous than women, but they will kill a certain number.
All right, well, go ahead.
They can't be allowed to wander around. So, I think the person who made that idea that crazy people shouldn't be, they're not really crazy, they're just society doesn't like them and puts them away, like Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The original novel was written by Ken Kesey. At one point in time, at least in terms of American standards, he was a person who fit in. He apparently was something of an athlete, maybe a football player, a wrestler, and a runner. Was it a runner? Track star? Maybe it was field. He always struck me as being, when I was a kid, as being a little hefty. Not really hefty, just a little hefty, but nowadays he'd be seen as svelte, I suppose. Anyway, heavy into the psychedelics, LSD, stuff like that. Like he just got things wrong. So, what do you think he died of? When did he die? He's age 66 of liver cancer. Folks like him just polluted their bodies. It's amazing. So many of them are so worried about pollution, and yet they're polluting their bodies with things like LSD and Lord knows what all else. Just, they're stupid. So Phil Lesh, I think the bassist for the Grateful Dead, had something like a liver or a kidney transplant. He was a liver transplant. David Crosby, a real guy out there when it came to the drug culture and Lord knows what all else. He had to have a liver transplant. You can't have everyone using this kind of dope and having liver transplants, because someone's got to be a donor. Really just stupid. That's a spondy. Accent on the second syllable. When you're dealing with folks like that. And maybe spelled S-T-O-O-P-U-D. Stupid. Speaking of stupid, that's the way I'm going to segue to Neil deGrasse Tyson. Tyson, I should say Tyson. And Cosmos. I keep on seeing flashed on the screen, written by Anne Duryea or Durian or something like that, and Steven Soder or something like that, and heading the list, Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan's been long dead. If you're doing, science is supposed to be cutting edge. You don't go just without revising. Do you want that?
No, you can sit.
Anyway, without revising, there's stuff from back or way back. So one of the lectures that I watched, I was getting lectured about how stupid primitive peoples, non-scientific people were about comets, even up to 1900. When was that? 86, it'd be maybe 1910. People were afraid when Halley's Comet kind of visited our skies, not the last time, but the second last time. People were saying, oh man, it signifies the end of the world. We could end up in the tail of the comet and get gassed by that, the tail of the comet. So it is a repeated sound chomp, not a sound bite, in that one, in the one lecture that deals with comets. Now we've gotten to the point where we don't have to fear comets. We've got over superstition. Well, folks, that's a superstition, a scientific superstition, that comets aren't dangerous. In my lifetime, well into my lifetime, in the lifetime of a lot of you folks out there, not the youngest folks, but anyone who was born 1980 and earlier, or 1990 and earlier, in your lifetime, the solar system got hit by a comet. It wasn't the Earth, thank heavens. It was Jupiter. Jupiter got thumped by one comet 20 times. Thank you. The chicken is cheering me on, I like to think. Thumped 20 times. I don't think it's 21 times. 20 times. Count them. 20
Sorry,
times.
baby. I didn't mean to scare you.
Each area, the area of the impact on Jupiter was small by comparison with Jupiter. So if you dial it up on the internet and you know, like what did the impacts look like? Jupiter these 20 pieces of this one comet Shoemaker-Levy or Levy, hit the dark side of Jupiter, but within 12 hours, it must have been something like 6 hours. I think Jupiter spins around on its axis every 12 hours. Quite fast. About 6 hours later, we could see it here on Earth, or with a telescope. And each one of those impacts, so if you see it on the internet, well, those are chicken feed. Jupiter's not the size of the Earth. It's thumpingly larger. And each one of those little impacts, little by comparison with Jupiter's diameter, was the diameter of the Earth. Our Earth. Each one of them. If the Earth got hit with 20 of those things, I don't know what we'd do. Oh, they're just wee little pieces of ice or whatever. Those things are coming so fast that one of them hitting an ocean on the Earth would raise, I'm told, and that's not internet sources, that each one of those pieces would raise tidal waves at point of impact. Well, this is for Americans out there, miles high. For people elsewhere in the world, kilometers high. Kilometers high. That's what. Yeah, they dissipate somewhat, but Lord only knows what would those the tidal waves would. Well, not tidal wave, but the waves would be like once they ramped up on beaches and stuff like that, because that's what tends to happen. You know, like oceans, boats can ride out. As long as they're not really close to the source of let's say an earthquake source or something like that. Yeah, they can ride out a tidal wave, for example. There were boats near Krakatoa that could actually see tidal waves going up on the beach at Krakatoa. They survived. The stuff just made them go like this. But once the waves started ramping up on land, they became hugely disastrous. So yeah, this is in the lifetime of lots of you folks out there. The solar system got thumped. And each time something like this, like there's a visitation like that in the solar system, or more specifically in Earth. Like, for example, what happened in Russia. When was that? Around 2011 or 2015? I can't remember. You know, like 100 people got killed, 1,000 people injured. A meteorite or something like that exploded above a Russian city, kind of in the Ural Mountain. I've forgotten what the name was. The name is now. The city survived, thank heavens. But you know, that was about 100 years after Tunguska. We managed to figure roughly what happened. Something similar. An explosion happened, I think, before impact, a meteorite or something like that. And that was it's still part of Russia. It shouldn't be, of course. Tunguska's way off in Siberia. It's the people there don't look like Russians. They kind of look, the natives kind of look like Orientals. But that's another story, and I'll talk about that again. I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it again. The Russian, I call for the dismantling the Russian Empire. Everything that they possess in Asia should be not given over to China, but should be given independence. It's just the way it is. The Ruskies have been very bad when it comes to treating minorities.
The birds planted millet in the
Wow, that's impressive.
It's so cute.
Millet about this high. Anyway, that's not Kate Millet. Anyway, I don't know if she's still alive. So yeah, what I was saying, each time we get a visitation from a comet or a meteorite that explodes or lands, or the same time that this happened in Russia, this was in this millennium. There are most of you folks alive now, or watching now. We're alive now. The astronomers saying, "Gosh, gee willikers," because there was there was a close visitation of a comet at the same time, fairly close. Golly, gee willikers! We didn't know there's this much space junk out there. They keep on upping their estimates of how much is up there. So on this show, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying, "Oh, we get a cometary impact every million years." No clue. Superstition, scientific superstition. This guy, I suspect, works for the AAAS, American Association for the Advancement of Science. So I don't know what they call it. I think they use it as an initialism. Because if you actually made it into an acronym where you tried to come up with a word, it would be AS. Yeah, which kind of sounds like a German pronouncing a particular English word. Or a Hungarian. Like I had a Hungarian track coach, and I think sometimes he'd say, "Move your A's." But yeah, I'd like to call the American Association for the Advancement of American Science. I think I got that right. It's not really worth memorizing or anything like that. I call it the American Association for the Advancement of Sophisticated Superstition, and that's ass. Okay, ass. And maybe I'm not talking. Well, maybe I'm talking about asinine, as in like a donkey. But maybe I'm not, because they, over the years, since 1950, since the Velikovsky affair started, and it lasted for 30 years, they thought it was put to rest by Carl Sagan, who wrote, he seems like the backbone of this series, just redone with Neil deGrasse Tyson doing the narration and not Sagan. He's dead. Asinine, donkey-like. So yeah, comets are dangerous. Our ancestors, almost to a person, got it right. Why? Because in their so-called legends, in their so-called myths, they actually preserved the memory of comets, not just one, thumping the Earth. There's one that thumped the Earth. It was incredible. It's the worst visitation we've had, since the Younger Dryas, from what I can tell, 1866 BC, long time ago. But that's not like a million years ago. Not like a million years ago. It was stunning. It wiped out the Sumerian civilization. We've got the flood, that not the flood, but the flood layer in Sumer, in which is near Basra, modern day Basra. It was dug out. This flood layer was dug out by a guy called Leonard Woolley, the English stylum Sir Leonard Woolley, and he thought he found a layer of mud that was laid down by the biblical flood. No. It's what ended the third dynasty of Ur. There was already history before then. Already, long before then. It's the third dynasty of Ur. They're already, that third dynasty ended, and there already were two that had finished before then. And, you know, there were other dynasties. Kish, I think there was more than one dynasty of Kish or Kish, fairly close to present-day Baghdad. There was an Akkadian dynasty before that, again, fairly close to present-day Baghdad. History, real history, okay? With documentation and stuff like that. Some of it carved in stone. Anyway, a huge thumping. How much time?
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Well,
Huge thumping layer. How high was the layer? 3 meters. 9 feet. Almost as high as a basketball net. Oh, well, that's nothing. No, that wasn't how high the floodwaters were. That's how high the mud was laid, that was laid down by a huge thumping wall of water. Where did that wall of water come from? Now there's a woman who's been working. I'm not going to put words in her mouth. I have noticed that she's located under the surface of the ocean several features that look like meteorite and or portions of comets, impacts, cometary impacts. And one of the things she's located is something right on the Persian Gulf. They'd have a hard time dating it because the Mesopotamian dating system for archaeology is way out of whack because it's based on Egyptian stuff, for early stuff that was totally misdated by at least 750 years by so-called Sir Flinders Petrie. At least 750 years, probably more like 900 years. 900 years off. So it's Mesopotamian material found in Egypt, misdated to 3000 BC. It's actually Akkadian material, dating from the Akkadian dynasty. According to the conventional dating, it's 2350 BC. That's off by about 150 years. It starts about 2200 BC, but it's actually the fourth king of that dynasty, who his real name was Naram-Zu-En. The Egyptian rendering, it's in Egyptian writing, is Narmer-Za-An. Naram-Zu-En, Narmer-Za-An. Yeah. Not Menace, or Mene, as Sir Flinders Petrie would have it. They've even given up that identification. It's just way off. So they'd have trouble dating that the muck brought up by that huge cometary or meteorite impact on the Persian Gulf. That was actually laid down 1866. It was part of a huge comet that thumped to the earth 10 times, from what I can tell. The contemporary Chinese legend is the legend of the 10 sons. The contemporary Hebrew legend is the 10 plagues. Okay? All done?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. So put that in your pipes and smoke it.